A big event here locally. A historic Chinese parade attracts thousands of visitors to Marysville each year. You're probably asking yourself, why Marysville? Well, the area has a rich history surrounding Chinese immigrants.
Sure do. Your reporter covering Yuba County, Kayla Moeller, stopped by the Chinese American Museum of Northern California to break down the past at one of the most extensive Chinese history museums in our state.
The Chinese miners built 30 Chinatowns during the gold rush. This is the only one that still stands. The history is here. This is the only museum that you can really tell this complete history of the Chinese in America because it starts with the gold rush.
The oldest standing gold-filled Chinatown is in Marysville, also home to the longest running parade in California, Bok Kai.
He's the second oldest dragon still in existence.
Put on by the Marysville Chinese community, this will be its 145th year. The nearly century-and-a-half-old Marysville celebration highlights the once bustling Chinese community the area saw in the 19th and 20th centuries.
If you compare what Chinatown looks like now, if you go back and look at old pictures, just so much different as far as the element. It was a thriving Chinese community down here. Because
of the anti-Chinese movement, many of the Chinese had to come to Marysville.
The director of the Chinese American Museum of Northern California says in the 1870s, 30% of Marysville's population was Chinese.
Across the street was the Tom family home, and that's where grandfather settled when he came here during the gold rush. 310 First Street.
310 First Street, yeah. And then 301 First Street is now your museum.
That's correct. Yeah, this is the most important corner in Chinatown, right here. On this intersection is where they fire the bombs during the Bok Kai Festival.
Mr. Tom says one of the most important parts of the Bok Kai celebration is the firing of the bombs on the second day of the second month of the Chinese Lunar New Year.
There's a banner that's wrapped around this bamboo ring, and young people fight for the rings during the firing of the bombs. And they take that banner to the temple where it's put on the wall for 1 year. They make a donation to the temple.
He says in recent years, parade visitors have taken a greater interest in learning about the past at one of the most extensive Chinese history museums in the state, with thousands of artifacts right here in Marysville.
This is the Bok Kai Parade. You can see how busy it is. Yeah. This is the building that we're in right now. That's the Susing building.
While the streets of Chinatown may look different today, the essence of Chinese influence still remains.
These people were tough people. They were people that understood the importance of what they were doing here. So you have the pioneer spirit of the Chinese that came to Marysville first, and that's continued on all these years.
What an insightful story. Kayla, thank you. The Marysville Chinese community recently received a $500,000 grant from the Sacramento Area Council of Governments to come up with a plan to revitalize Chinatown.